Hey everyone, welcome to another discussion video here at the BitBlock. Today we are going to be talking about the new updates we got from Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and I am joined by Dan Koopman.
Hello everybody.
Nintendaan, otherwise known as Nintendaan.
Yes.
And I'm sure you, just like me, are very excited to talk about all the new Kirby-related news.
I am very excited, yes. It's it feels so far away, but it is so close by. I mean, it's almost 2015. It's coming out the 22nd of January, so it is less than a month away.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I never played Kirby Canvas Curse for the Nintendo DS, so this is like a totally new game for me personally.
Right, yeah. I played some of Canvas Curse. I played it almost through the way through, but I don't remember it as well as most other Kirby games for some reason or another.
Huh, that's interesting. So let's start off by talking about the new stuff that we learned from the recent trailer and website videos and information for the game.
Yep.
So first of all, is there anything that we didn't know about from E3?
Well, we saw some new transformations, like the rocket, for example.
Mm-hmm. What does that do?
You're basically on a rocket, you can shoot rockets at enemies, and basically you move through the level. And there's a similar case with like a submarine where you move underwater.
Mm-hmm.
We already saw the tank at E3.
Yeah.
So those are the three transformations we have seen so far. And they basically seem to act very similarly. Like, almost all the stages are auto-scrolling, but those three stages in particular don't seem to have any differences at all, where you're not really interacting with Kirby all too much, where he's just scrolling through the level, but you're more interactive with the enemies and the environments around you.
Right. I saw another transformation in a screenshot that was recently released where Kirby is Hamster Kirby. Did you see that as well?
I didn't see that screenshot, no.
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure he transformed into a little hamster version of himself, and it's the cutest thing I think that I've ever seen in a video game. It's amazing.
And now I have to look that up. That sounds amazing. Yeah.
Now, yes, you have to see this. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, like most Kirby games, transformations are definitely going to play a big part in this game. I imagine that you'll be able to, like, touch where you want to fire missiles from the tank or the submarine, right?
Yeah, at E3 that was definitely the case, where you had to touch on specific points in the levels, and if you would hold it, like, your attack would be stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And yeah, it was really, really neat. It was something very different. It was also way more challenging than the initial level that you played, because it's basically the first level of the game, I think. But that tank level on its own was kind of challenging. It was super, super interesting to play.
One of the things that you had mentioned to me before we started recording this is you're more excited about the level design this time around in the Wii U version of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the clay aesthetic makes it all pop a lot more, I feel. My only worry is that I will be looking at the gamepad more and won't see it as much.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing we were talking about earlier. I'm not really the type of person who likes to play a game on the gamepad. I'm cool with it if it's like I'm playing on the gamepad because it's giving me a different perspective, like in Nintendo Land. But I don't want to play the bulk of the game just looking on the gamepad screen. I want to see the big 50-inch HD beautiful display on my television screen. And this really seems like the kind of game where I'm not so sure that you'd be able to do that because you really are constantly interacting with it through the touchscreen.
Yeah, the game is very touchscreen centric. When I was playing it at E3, I noticed that I never looked at the television, once.
Now, do you think maybe after a little bit of practice, you would be able to look at the television screen while also using the touchscreen?
Well, the real estate of the gamepad is smaller than a television, so you have to kind of get used to that. I think if you once know where Kirby is on the screen, you can get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's a very unusual way to play a game, I feel.
Yeah, it probably would be a little less easy to grasp than just looking down at the gamepad screen. One of the things that I actually do hope this game features, we haven't heard of it yet, not even in this new information, I really hope you can use the Wii Remote to just point and draw the lines at the screen.
That would be perfect, right? Yeah.
It might be a little slower than using just the stylus, but I still feel like that would be a nice solution for people who just want to experience this game on a TV screen, because after all, it is a home console game.
Yeah, the weird thing is I like pointing with the remote.
Yeah, me too.
More than actually using the stylus on a touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be totally cool with that if that would be an option.
Yeah.
But so far we have heard nothing. I know for a fact it supports the remotes, but I only think it supports them for Waddle Dee.
Right. So this game has 5-player multiplayer, correct?
4-player.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because one person, it seems like they could have done 5-player.
I think they could have done 5-player. I think it's one Kirby, 3 Waddle Dees.
Right. It's, I wonder how different it would be to play as a Waddle Dee in this kind of a game. Because this gameplay, it really isn't a typical 2D side-scrolling game. So when you play as Waddle Dee, it kind of turns into that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see, like, will Kirby's rainbow lines get in the way of the Waddle Dees? They can use them, correct? They can walk on them like a platform?
They can walk on them. They can also just use the loop-de-loops like Kirby could.
Okay.
But of course, they can hold Kirby and can also attack with their spear, so they're more versatile.
They play a little bit more like a traditional 2D platformer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really, really interested to see how the multiplayer works. And when you play with those, that's not like a special mode. That's just jump in, jump out multiplayer, right?
Yeah, and I honestly think that it can only be used for the story stages.
Okay.
Because the game features story stages and challenge stages. And they announced that there are 28 story stages in the game. And then after that, you have also like 40 smaller challenge stages.
40 of them?
40 of them, yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. And basically, there are just little action-packed stages where you have to complete a certain goal, and at the end you get additional trophies for your trophy collection in the game.
So that is another thing that we found out recently. There are trophies in this game, I guess kind of similar to Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I think that's the perfect example to that. Like every of these trophies have a subscription, you can look through it all around them, so it's basically like Super Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense because HAL, of course, originally, designed Super Smash Brothers.
That's correct, yes.
Any clue as to how many there are in the game? Does it seem like there's going to be a whole bunch?
We don't know.
Because the trailer showed, I think, 4. Am I correct in that? I saw 4 of them.
Well, the additional website for the show a lot more of them.
Okay.
And they were also all on a shelf.
Okay.
But we don't know how much there specifically are. If there are at least 40 in the challenge stages and a lot more to collect in the main storyline, there would at least be a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually a huge fan of collecting little trophies, dioramas. I even liked collecting the stickers in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, so little extra collectibles like this are right up my alley. It definitely gives you reason to go back and want to collect everything.
You can also, next to that, you can also collect music in the game, so...
So there's like a jukebox.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. This is very HAL. This seems very HAL-like, of having these extra modes.
But also very HAL is that the music is also really good.
That's very true. So, I mean, the game, for the most part, seems like it's going to be pretty exciting. Have you noticed anything about the game that we've seen so far that you wish was in there that isn't?
Not specifically, no. It feels exactly like a sequel to Canvas Curse.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the right ways, because I feel that game was kind of lacking in style. And again, as we discussed before, this game has a lot of style to it. This game looks beautiful. There was also the full opening was on the website, and you can just look how beautiful that clay aesthetic actually is.
Mm-hmm. It's basically like claymation. I mean, that's the whole game.
Right, the whole game is claymation.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looks beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
I'm a little disappointed, and I mentioned this to you. Me and Roger had a bet that I said these were actually clay figures that the artist made and then animated by moving them around and then took the high-quality images and put them into the game. Mm-hmm. But I think that's not the case. I think that they may have actually just designed all this and just faked the clay look with 3D models.
Well, it still looks impressive either way.
It does, but I just don't like being wrong to Roger. So nobody tell Roger that I'm admitting that I was wrong.
Somebody will link him to this video, sadly. We also learned, talking about things that are slightly disappointing.
Slightly?
About the Amiibo support for the game.
This is, yeah. So you want to go ahead and tell everybody what the Amiibo support in Kirby Rainbow Curse is?
Yeah, so basically, if you have a Kirby Meta Knight of DDD amiibo, you can get special power-ups in the game. Um, so Kirby has in the game this attack called the Star Dash, where you have to collect 100 stars in a level, and then you can move like at full front speed across the stage. If you put the Kirby amiibo on the gamepad for one level only, you have infinite Star Dash power. Um, if you do that with the Meta Knight amiibo, you get a Meta Knight mask and a higher attack, so like bosses are easier to beat. And the final one is the DDD amiibo, which gives you a DDD hat and a higher health bar.
So, really nothing exciting, in other words.
Not really, no. Because again, the Stardust power is something you can usually require while playing for the regular game. It won't happen as often, that's the only thing.
You know, one of the weird things to me is that you can only use them once a day.
Yeah.
Which is strange because you'll probably be able to beat this game in a couple days.
Yeah, if there are 28 story stages, I wouldn't imagine that the game is extremely long. And for good reason, like, it's the same price as Captain Toad in Japan, which is roughly $35.
Right, so this is a budget game.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I kind of really wish that there were more creative uses of Amiibo. And even in a game like this, I just feel like they definitely could have come up with something more interesting than just giving us little power-ups.
Yeah. It is... what I imagined for Captain Toad, and I almost feel that it's not going to happen at this point, and I'm kind of scared. I almost imagined that we would get, like, special levels based on that specific Amiibo character.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah. And none of that had turned out really to be true. Like, with Kirby, again, the only thing you should get are these free power-ups, and that's about it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because there's some people that are like, well, the Amiibo support is lackluster so far because they didn't have the time to really incorporate anything. But I feel like this Kirby game, they had time, right? I mean, they had a few extra months.
Yeah, they had. Plenty of time.
I just, you know, and it's like you said, I have these really cool ideas, just like you said, about Captain Toad having, you know, specific little puzzles for characters, like an F-Zero puzzle or a puzzle based on The Legend of Zelda. If that actually were true, that Amiibo support in Captain Toad would be miles ahead of any other Amiibo support that we had seen. So I'm just thinking like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen because every other Amiibo supported game is just like, hey, you can get costumes or little pointless power-ups.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to love Amiibo's support so much more than I actually do.
I mean, we talked about it before. I liked the Amiibo support in Smash Brothers for the reason that I can go to a friend's house and we can just see our Amiibo battle around one another, and it will reflect our playstyles back to the television screen. But if you're not really into that, then there's not really much else for you to do with Amiibo.
Right.
And that is kind of the issue right now. If you're not really too much into Smash Brothers or that specific aspect of Smash Brothers, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, that's kind of the boat I'm in right now. I've got a lot of Amiibo, which is funny because I complain about Amiibo a lot, but I still collect them, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite.
Yeah, I currently have all the first, second wave Amiibo.
You're a madman.
Yeah, I am truly a madman, and I will continue to collect more of them as we go along, I guess.
Would you like to see some of the trophies in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse turned into Amiibo?
If they had an actual use for them, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I guess that's the problem then, because they need to come up with an actual use for them, and they don't seem to really have an easy time doing that.
Currently, it doesn't really seem like the case, yeah.
But having said that, even though we're both obviously disappointed with Amiibo support, I think we'll both agree that the game looks gorgeous, has great music, looks like it's going to be tons of fun to play, and the new trailers and screenshots got me pretty excited, and the release date in Japan is less than a month away. I'd imagine the rest of the world can't be too far behind.
Sadly, I have to say something towards Europe here.
Mm-hmm.
So recently it was announced that Europe is not getting this game until the second half of 2015.
Okay.
And I wanted to say to that is really bitter. That is really, really sour, and I don't like that Nintendo of Europe did this.
They seem to be doing that more and more lately. They're going back to their old ways of Europe getting releases last.
Yeah, but with Kirby, that was specifically always the case, except with Triple Deluxe last year. Because Triple Deluxe came out at roughly like 2 weeks after North America.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting it months after the North American release in February.
Is Kirby not very popular there?
I guess so. We never got the Kirby collection.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite Wii games.
So I guess that's kind of the sentiment that Kirby is not really a popular thing here in Europe. But at the same time, I rather see this game sooner or later, because at the end of the day, if it comes out months later, nobody will really care.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to bode well for trying to get Kirby more popular there if the games come out way later.
Pretty much, yeah.
But you and I both will be playing it in less than a month, so I guess we can't really complain too much.
Yeah, I had to just put it out there for the people. But at the end of the day, I will be playing it in less than a month from now, so I can't wait for it.
Yeah, any final words on it?
Well, my final words really are, I just want to play through this game. I played it at E3, it was super fun. Again, my only worry is that we'll be looking too much at the gamepad and not so much at the television. But we'll see about that.
Yep, I'm in pretty much this. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm excited to see how the multiplayer works too. We're probably going to do a lot of that on the Fold, so hopefully it makes you very angry at each other.
Nice.
All right, so do you want to go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere else?
Sure. I am on Twitter, which is at Nintendaan. That is NINTENDAAN. Usually you can find out all what I do. I do written reviews, I do videos, I do all sorts of crazy stuff every single day. So if you just want to get a good overview of what I do, like, Twitter is the best place really for it.
All right, and of course all the links that you can just click the links in the description of this video, so it'll be much easier for them to follow you.
Oh yeah, totally.
Thank you so much for talking about Kirby and the Rainbow Curse with me.
No worries.
Talk to you later, guys.
Bye-bye.